do. We vote as a block. We all get together. We tell a politician, here's 20 million, $30 million, but you got to do our building. But you got to do our bidding. You creating your own little black plan. This shit is cute, and I know you got some black people in your cabinet who supporting you, but I need to see results, player. I need to see results because, again, the little money you gave for HBCUs, pardoning 500, 600, 6,000 people, however many people who actually pardoned with this First Step Act is a long way from removing the systematic injustices that we face. And when the idea of defunding the police comes up, which, just so y'all know, defunding the police isn't necessarily, we're giving you, let's say, this is all hypothetical, let's say that you're giving the police force $20 million a year, whatever the case may be. This is not saying cut down their funding so now they ain't got a whole bunch of police cars, now they got to wear old-ass police uniforms. It's not cutting down now it ain't gonna be police on the streets. You cut down police, you defund the police, now they ain't gonna be able to police the high crime areas, which will lead to more crime, which will lead to more anarchy. No. How about, this is a wild ass idea, right? How about if there's a domestic violence call, a cop shows up that don't have a gun? If there's a domestic violence call, a cop shows up that may have a taser and no good ass karate, may have a knife or some mace or some shit like that. Let's say there's a mental ill person that's walking the streets. Why is a man with a gun showing up if there's a mental ill person walking the street? See, so there's several instances where we don't really need a man with a gun showing up. Have a counselor show up that has a gun in the car and no jujitsu or some shit, right? I'm getting sick of seeing cops just fuck us up. It's like 8 or 9 of y'all. Y'all be on some pussy shit to a degree. You should be, police officers should be trained for months on how to defend themselves. You can't be just a white kid that come out of high school, go to the training for 6 weeks, and now you got a goddamn gun policing my communities. So for one, you should be trained for weeks on end on how to defend yourself and how to diffuse situations in different communities. 2, you should kind of be from the community you're policing. Imagine that, y'all. You have a white man who's from middle America, who's only seen us on TV. To him, we're T.I. and Menace to Society, right? He see the rappers, the gold chains, the gun, the drama, whatever the media portrays. Then all of a sudden he gets a call and has to go to an all-black neighborhood. And to me, our energy, our melanin, we conduct ourselves differently in a lot of situations. We be high-strung. We move a lot. We talking kind of loud. That shit don't mean you about to get harmed. That's just how we get down. You see what I'm saying? So if we had a cop from the neighborhood, and again, even some black cops be on bullshit, that's a whole other topic, but if you had a cop from the neighborhood, maybe he knows Johnny. Maybe he know Johnny do this shit every Tuesday. He be tripping like this every Tuesday. You ain't gotta shoot him. Call his mama. Sit him down. Have a conversation with us. Right? Because when we talk about crime in our cities, do police stop crime? Do they stop it? Like, do they prevent carjackings? Do they prevent murders? Huh? Oh, I get it. They say they prevent them by just throwing everybody in fucking jail. And hopefully the niggas you threw in jail is the niggas that was gonna murder and rob. So that's how, no. You know how cops solve cases for the most part? Snitches. You know how they find out who did what? Snitches. Other niggas who don't want to go to jail. So you bring him in a goddamn room and you pressure him to tell him somebody else to make his situation better. Boom. Your case is solved. So what are y'all actually doing? I know you see TV with all the police work and they're going over that clue and going over that clue, but the first 48 to tell you, if you don't solve that shit in 48 hours, you're going to have some problems. And how do they typically solve it within 48 hours? A nigga snitching. It don't be no great ass cop work. So we need to reevaluate, do we need a level of policing in society as a whole? Sure. But I would say, if you look at other countries, I can't really think of the ones in my head right now, but other countries who don't have guns. Like they show up to whatever situation it is with a billy club and a good idea, goddammit. They don't show up with guns, but the crime rate is lower. In my opinion, if you militarize an area, if you bring hella tanks and hella armed officers, to me that infuses more of a criminal element. That make people say, fuck it, I'm gonna do this, or fuck it, I'm gonna do that, opposed to showing up with love. Like, that shit may sound corny, but if you show up to a situation and somebody know you there to help them, if somebody know you there to really diffuse the situation, the chances of you getting fucked up, the chances of some violence taking place is a lot less likely. You know what I mean? So when we talk about politics from this aspect, when we talk about Biden, when we talk about Trump, melanated family, look at the real shit, man. Look at what these people have really done for us. I seen a homeboy of mine show me a video today of a brother, because he's one of these people who believe Trump is right for America. And it's a video of this brother talking about how Trump being voted in, Trump cleaned out the swamp, quote unquote, which basically means corrupt politicians, pedophiles, white men in power who don't mean us no harm, or who don't mean us no good. He's taking the liberty of getting rid of these guys. He's taking the liberty of ousting these guys out of his cabinet, or whatever the case may be. He is, black folks liked Trump before he was the president. We would have him in our music videos. We would reference him in our rap songs. Some of that is true. But in my opinion, we referenced him in rap songs. We talked about Trump. He was a status symbol of success in this country, which he is a successful man. But at that time, many people just didn't look into the fuck shit he's represented. And in my opinion, he is a racist white man. If you look at his family history, if you look at his parents' ideology about black people, when you look at, to me, his rhetoric has been racist rhetoric. When you support the extermination of 5 young black men, which he did with the Central Park 5, that's a racist move, family. To use your power to subjugate another group of people, that makes you racist. Trump used his power as president his power as a rich man in this country in the 1980s to put out billboards, to put out newspaper articles, to arrest these young 5 black men who meant him no harm, right? These black men were innocent. These black men spent years and years upon years in prison. The discriminatory ways he's ran his business when it came to housing and things of that nature. Now, people will say, if you want to protect your rental property, you shouldn't rent to Section 8 people neither. Or you shouldn't rent to low income people neither. And I have to say, there may be some truth in that, but if you look at the man's history, I'm thinking, no, that's more or less based on the color of the people. In his rhetoric, saying there's good people on both sides, tweeting Confederate shit, saying that the Confederate monuments shouldn't be brought down. I question anybody who says a statue of a racist white man should be in any city in America. I don't care how you look. If you for that, then you not for me. You know what I mean? So when he talks about defunding the police, when he talks about them against us, he's talking about black folks. So whether you think he's racist or not, whether you think Biden is racist or not, which I do 100%, I don't trust them motherfuckers. So who gonna start a relationship with somebody they don't trust? So Biden is shitting on me, Trump is pissing on me, and you telling me to pick which one I like, shit or piss? I don't like either, motherfucker. I don't like either. So I'm not voting for either one of them. As of today, I'm not voting for either one of them. Fuck both of your plans for black America. I need to see this shit instituted, right? Now look, if Trump, I'll be the first one to apologize. I'll be the first one to come on here and say I was wrong. If I see him do substantial shit for the black, not placating us, not just some Band-Aid shit. You putting Band-Aids on really large problems. And black folks looking at that like, oh, he's helping HBCUs. Look, I wish more of us went to HBCUs, but the reality of it is a lot of black folks don't go to HBCUs like that. So if you do put money in HBCUs, fine. How about you change public schools? How about you put money into public schools and making it so it's not a situation where it's the money a public school gets is based on the tax dollars in the environment. So if I'm a black kid in a poor environment, by default, I'm going to have a school that's more fucked up. If I have a school that's more fucked up, my test scores might be lower. My test scores might be lower, then that may make me less likely